It was back in 2022 when I went to Australia for Bowlzilla, and whilst I just happened to be there, I went to Mullet Fest.
SkateWine.
I won the Best International Mullet of 2020. Since that time, I have learnt a lot. And one of them is regarding image. So the BBC, I got in contact with them when I won. They picked up the story, they liked it at BBC Devon. That then got picked up by the national BBC and then got picked up by media. It was in all the newspapers. So I originally made this video. This has been edited by one of the BBC Devon editors. So from that, it went global, and it was crazy because it went global and we're all in lockdown. There was a number of agent media outlets that picked up that story without any payment to myself, using my images, using my photographs, which actually media do need to pay for. There was a French outlet that used it without asking. There was an Indian outlet that used it without asking. They even picked up Gavin Swafield's photo from a NAS like years ago without his permission. I think that as I've got older, the usage, and unfortunately we live in a world that's made of money, so the usage and payment of content is very important. From this, a number of people have been in contact with me regarding people then using my content. Obviously, we've had the recent controversy with Gifted Hater getting upset that I'd asked Patreon and now YouTube to take that media down. And from that, I've learned that you do actually have fair usage, at least in the world of YouTube and media outlets in the US. You can take someone else's media, and if you add to it, if you're adding a story or a discussion, you're actually allowed to do that as long as you don't create defamation towards whoever or whatever you're talking about. You've got to do it in a grown-up civil manner. So the first person that someone brought my attention to is this YouTuber, ironically called Robert IDK. He's got 1 million subscribers. The difference between me and Robert DK and Gifted Hater, these guys are running it as a business. This is a business model. And the thing with Robert IDK is someone messaged me last year and said that they saw my image being used in a Robert IDK video. And I thought that's really interesting, and I thought it'd be nice that I've been mentioned in someone who's got 1 million subscribers. So the original picture here was Mad Lad, which is amazing. Mad Lad, it's him laughing away, very stereotypical YouTube thumbnail, and then it's got me in the background. Now, I clicked through to this video, and I watched the whole thing expecting there to be some reference to SkateWine or myself. And there wasn't anything. And I mean,
absolute mad lads. You see,
so I watched this whole horrific video, went all the way through 10 minutes, and there was not one reference to his thumbnail photo. So, yep, I got a little bit upset with this. I sent his business an email just to say, look, you've used my image. I want some payment. Never heard anything back from him, never received anything because that was the original image. And so now the image has been changed to a different picture. No email back from their business, no sorry, just complete ignorance that they've even used it, and they've just changed out the thumbnail so that there's no repercussions in the future. You know, you've got 1 million subscribers, you've got a thumbnail that you're using from somewhere you've just randomly found on the internet, you've not referenced that photo in the actual video. This is ironically what Gifted Hater gets annoyed about, you know, with these clickbaity thumbnails. Guess what? Robert IDK's got 1 million subscribers, and his business model, they know how to do it. That's why they've used my image. And that is irritating because they are financially gaining out of, other people's image and then just ignoring that they're making that money from it. And then another person had got in contact with me, and it's funny because it's not even any of the photos that were distributed. It was actually a screenshot from the video, and it was in this Mullet Calendar. So someone got in contact with me and said, Rob, you do realise you're on a Mullet Calendar on Amazon? And I was like, well, there's two things. I didn't know that I was in the calendar, and I didn't give my permission for the photo. And so here I am in December, which is a nice month, and they've used my image. So I got in contact with the calendar company. They were quite diplomatic about it, and thankfully we've not had to take it any further. And as someone in marketing, as someone in graphic design, I mean, their comeback was, oh, it only costs like a couple of pounds to get these images. Well, if it only costs a couple of pounds to get those images, sort your act out, get in contact with people before you use their image. It's as simple as that. Like, for instance, the gifted hater video that he did, he could have just gone through that subject matter without the need of making a video on top of a video, in my opinion. I think that you could just make that video off your back without using someone else's content. And that is exactly what we have here as well. Using my picture in a calendar. They've not got in contact with me. They've not said they're using it. And they've just gone ahead and published it anyway. It's just frustrating and irritating from someone in my position that's not making money, not making a career out of it, not business minded. And people are just, which I hadn't realised, you can kind of do what you want and get away with it until you get caught, basically. I thought I'd just make a video covering aspects of people just using things that other people do. And I think when people are creating content like Banksy was creating really nice graffiti art, that people wanted to rip that off. You could go down to a market in the UK and probably find some t-shirts with Banksy stuff, all over it. And I'm sure he hasn't gone out of his way to take all those t-shirt manufacturers and markets to court. And I think due to his success, that's why so many people copy his work now and copy what he does. And I now realise as I get older that you've got to, especially if you're making a financial gain from something, you've got to give back. Surely. My battery's just about to run out. I thought I'd just make that video covering those aspects of recent things that have happened to me, and I just think it's hilarious. I just think it's kind of humbling that people want to use stuff that I've made in calendars and YouTube videos and thumbnails. But it would just be nice if they just contacted me and reached out and just said, hey, I've seen your video, could I do a video on it? This is what I've done. Anything you find derogatory in there I can take out. And things like this just amazes me that people don't realise the implications of using somebody else's content without permission. It doesn't even need to come down to money, just asking someone if they can use it. Sadly, the legal system is set up so that you probably are better not to ask and just see if you get away with it. That's today's wine out of the way. Shout outs to Calendar King. Never did. If anyone's got that calendar, please could they send it to me, because I actually never got one. So that would be hilarious just to get one of those calendars. Shout outs to the Mullet. Shout outs to Robert IDK. Shout outs to Gifted Hater. And shout outs to the world. Peace.